Guys, what we're basically doing today is to search for the tastiest biscuits ever on the playground. Are you guys ready? Yeah! The search starts in 3, 2, 1, let's go!
Sona biscuits are rich in flavor, nourishment, and excitement for kids of all ages. Grab a bite today.
Good day, viewers. Once again, we are with you from Educare TV, and today I have a very prominent guest in the house who is going to talk on from learning recovery to education transformation. I'm glad to welcome Princess Oluwakemi Adeniyi. Please, can we get to know you? Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Doc. I appreciate this. It's good to be here. I feel highly honored to be on this show with you. Good morning, viewers.
So let's just get to know about you, what you do. You do a whole lot of things, and we want to know about that. Okay. Before we go into the conversation properly.
All right. Thank you, Mom. I'm Princess Oluwakemi Adeniyi, just as you've mentioned. And yes, I'm seated, but I know I'm such a tall, young girl. I run educational consultancy. I work with teenagers. I'm the convener of Frankly Speaking for Teenagers. And I appreciate this platform today because it's an avenue to take us away from the classroom so we can get to know what really is going on around our teenage children and students as well.
Thank you so much. You're welcome, Princess Oluwakemi Adeniyi. Now let's go down to the business of the day, from learning recovery to education transformation. Let's start with this. When we talk about education transformation, what really does it mean? What does it actually mean? And do you think it is achievable in Nigeria?
Yes, I agree. It is achievable. Whatever we set our minds to do, we can always achieve them. And I believe that transformation in the field of education is the systemic changes that we're going to be witnessing in prevailing educational sector and model. There are systemic changes that would happen over time because we're evolving. And the educational sector is such that it's growing on the daily, especially after the bout with COVID, and we're learning to recover and adopt new strategies. And so I believe it's achievable, especially when we set our minds to do it.
So yeah, we believe it's achievable in Nigeria, this part of the world. Yes. Do you think we actually have the infrastructure for that?
Yes, I agree.
This transformation
I agree, we do. It's achievable in Nigeria because what we require are just human resources. Where we require are the teachers, the educators, those who have to make meaningful impact, transformational teachers that would make strategic, meaningful impacts on these children. And so, because it has to be a model that is centered around each child, not the classroom, not the large participants. And so it is centered, it's a model that is centered around impacting knowledge on every child. And that's the educational transformation we'll be talking about today. And that's what I do.
Okay, so I know you've been doing so much after the COVID. Yes. And this COVID outbreak, at the end of COVID, is a kind of journey. It's a journey is a new chapter and all that. So, and we kind of try to recover individually, health-wise, and even in education. We're trying to recover. So, in line with this, how will you define learning recovery in education?
Okay,
considering the COVID thing, because the new normal, yes. Sure.
I believe these are systemic changes that would align with this prevailing situation. They are systemic. I have emphasis on systemic because it's a gradual process to recover. You don't heal from an ailment overnight, and so we're not adopting magical solutions to this problem. It's going to be a systemic one, but we should be available. We should make ourselves available. We should be interested. That's what I mean. In that change. And that's why educators should make a conscious effort to gradually allow these children to recover. Because you see, at that time, are you aware it's possible for some of these students to have probably lost one of their parents or even a sibling during that process? And besides that, psychologically, it wasn't an easy one for anyone. A lot of children told me they watched their parents cry for the first time during that period. So the learning recovery in the educational sector is such that it has to be all-encompassing. You have a role to play. Parents have a role to play, just like guardians and educators have also a role to play. So it's a systemic change. It's a process that we have to adopt. We have to ensure that we want to move from one stage of that slow pace onto getting these children back on the pedestal of learning.
Okay, so in line with this recovery here in Nigeria, let's use Nigeria as case study, as it were, because of our peculiarity in terms of provision for a lot of things that will aid this recovery. Now, what are the challenges that we're facing? We're already in it. We're already trying to recover. What are the challenges we are facing now in Nigeria, in this process, in this systemic change you're talking about?
Okay, one of the very, very conspicuous challenges is the fact that these children are tech savvy. They are smarter than their educators. I'll take an instance, because you have said we should use Nigeria. I'm a full-blown Nigerian. I mean, it shows in my skin and my accent as well. And so I'm a proud Yoruba woman. And so I know for a fact that majority of mothers, I don't want to do this about the men, because it's very possible that they will come for me on this, but let me as a woman face my gender. Now, for most mothers, a lot of them can't even operate the remote control in the house. A lot of mothers can't figure out what's going on their phones. And so when that happens, most of the time, they can't actually copy and paste and do certain things on their phones, and they call their children to fix it. Now ask me, how did your child get to know how to fix it?
And then you don't know.
That is the reality. That's the reality we're facing. And so the same way the mother couldn't fix it, why are you expecting magic from the teachers? Why are you expecting your child's teacher to be able to... Your child's teacher as a woman is someone else's mother as well. And so maybe in her house too, she goes through that same challenge. So it's a big challenge that we have to face headlong. The teachers, the educators, the parents, we have to make a conscious effort. We brought these children to the world. We expect that, oh yes, the fruit, you plant a seed, it germinates into a big tree. You should be you should up your game, if I'm permitted to say that. You should up your game. Ensure that you learn more. Make sure that you learn more. Otherwise, you grow into a mother whose son drives her, and I have come to realize that those who do not know how to drive complain more. They complain more. They complain more. They tell the driver, you're not doing this well. That's not how to turn. That's not where you're supposed to. You're running into bombs and all of that. And so people play football with their mouth. Up your game. They need to up their game.
So
parents have to be encouraged to be more tech savvy.
But you know why I align with this response is that we see students come back from home with assignments and all that.
Yes.
And who do you expect to help children do that? The parents.
Yes.
Especially the mothers.
Yeah.
So if mothers are going to help their children
to fix
their assignments, So they also have to
be knowledgeable.
Up their game also, knowledgeable enough for them to take that responsibility. As well, the teachers, of course, they have to do that. But I know that there was a lot of layoff because some teachers could not just adapt to that.
Yes, I agree.
To bringing themselves to learning this new technology of teaching to students. So I align with that. Okay, so what strategies or initiatives, do you believe are crucial for successful learning recovery?
Okay, the school, I mean, kudos to a lot of private institutions and schools of learning in Nigeria. I mean, I've been privileged to work with quite a number of them. And I appreciate the fact that now they're taking learning away from their teachers and they are adopting the use of life coaches like us. I mean, I'm an etiquette and lifestyle coach, and so some schools have engaged me to speak at Parents Forum. They have engaged me to speak with their teenagers and all of that. And so it's not the classroom thing. It's not the chalkboard thing. In my day, I didn't appreciate I wasn't given a chance to appreciate my height back in school. When I was in secondary school. I was the tallest girl in my class, and one of the assignments that made me dread Fridays was the fact that I have to use charcoal to rub the blackboard. And so we've moved from blackboard to marker boards. Now we have interactive boards. In our days, when you miss school, the best you probably do is to catch up with copy notes. But now we have interactive boards, smart boards in schools where lessons can be recorded and transferred to parents' gadgets and all of that. So the solution to some of these problems is, first, parents they should realize that it's not about paying fees. They have a role to play. They are also educators. Because just like you mentioned, assignments are sent home and parents can't assist at fixing it. The child who has the assignment, some of us even bully them by saying, I did all of that at school. When I was in school, my mom wasn't helping me to do this, so fix it, sort it out by yourself.
But excuse yourself from that responsibility.
But the days of Peugeot 504 is not this day where people actually start now to start off the engines of their cars. A lot of people in the comfort of their bedroom can switch on their generators at home. And so we need to evolve. We need to systematically change things. And so it has to be a conscious effort for parents to toe the route of being tech savvy. IT is the way forward right now. So parents have a role to play, just like the educators. The teachers are doing a good job. They do training and retraining of staff. Kudos to some of these educators, especially private-owned institutions and schools of learning. They keep training their staff. Although some of them would say after training them, they leave for other employment. But at least for the period of their stay and work with you, if you train them, is also to the advantage of the children. So whilst the teachers are being trained, parents should also endeavor to get themselves trained.
Thank you so much. Let's look at some of these some examples of educational transformation initiatives that you personally or your organization has been involved in, and the resultant effect or outcomes.
Transformation, of course, simply put in English, means you're moving from one stage to better your lot in another stage. Some of the changes we intend to have, I'll tell you about the results we've been able to achieve, and I'll first start with how all of this started. It's a journey that started immediately after COVID, because I figured that if we could survive without going to school, just like churches are now being streamed online, so you don't actually you don't really need to go to church. A lot of people told me now that in the comfort of their homes they can actually administer communion, but it is still beautiful to genuflect, and take the communion as an Anglican. I mean, that's pleasurable. That's more honorable anyway. Now, we figured that we could not run events and programs where we have students collectively being together in a hall, over 700 participants, and you have to reach out to them. I realized that it was just the crowd that I was speaking to, not individuals that had a need to be for their issues to be addressed. And that's one of the challenges. Every parent now feels it's comfortable for their children to come first in class. Every child wants to every child is compelled to come first in class. But are you aware that not all of them are even interested in what they are teaching them at the moment? Yes, because there are different techniques. There are about 4 different techniques that I know that are learning styles. Some are auditory, some kinesthetic, some visual, some read and write, you know. So some children know how to write very well, but they can't speak. Some people speak good English, but they can't write, you know. So we discovered that there is now a new normal, and that is for us to reach out to children, reach out to participants on a one-on-one. I run coaching classes privately now at home for parents who engage my services. I speak at events. I speak at parents forum. Before, I was only attending to teenage coaching, but I realized that most of my participants, I mean, I'm in love with teenagers. They call me Kimo, and I'm just okay with that, because you have to bridge that gap. I can't be mommy to my children and also be mommy to you, and that's why there's a difference in good morning ma and good morning man. That's a difference. There is a difference. And so because we have figured out that these children need more than they learn in the classroom, we as coaches have to step and bridge that gap. So now we involve them, we coach them, we ask questions, we interact in a meaningful, very intimate questions. There are a lot that are now taught in biology classes, but we teach them. They ask me questions and I answer them and I offer solutions. You'll be amazed that there are teenagers who are mentally broken down in Nigeria right now. A lot of parents leave home as early as 5 a.m. All because they feel, oh, I need to make sure my children are fine. But as soon as they step out of the house, some of my teenagers don't have phones. You know, but these children are tech savvy. They are smarter than you are on the laptop. And so they have applications. They have a way to reach out to their friends, and a whole lot is going on. So when we realized that we need to up our game, I learned how to do this, and that's why I'm imploring parents to do the same. They can learn. Some parents do not know beyond the power button. I know parents who are accountants and they know all of the accounting packages, software, and they can find their ways around it. But are you aware that your teenage daughter she's smarter at some levels? She's not interested in that package. If you marry the system, the computer systems of your children, and you have a software that makes it download on your personal PC, to monitor what they are doing, you will be amazed at what is happening right under your nose.
Yeah, because you're like a hero. Yes, I'm dealing with these children. I'm taking phones from them. No,
it's gone beyond that.
And all that.
Oh,
and you're giving them laptops.
It's gone beyond that.
You're giving them downloads. They're doing much more than what they would have done on their phones.
True, absolutely true.
Thank you so much. It's been a good breathtaking session with Kimo. I want to refer her to Kimo because that's the brand Kimo. That is Princess Olukemi Adeni. We've been talking on learning recovery to education transformation, and she said something that is systemic, is a process. So we're going to take a short break now. When we come back, we'll continue with the conversation. Please don't go away. Stay tuned. Thank you.
It's small tonic time.
Make great things happen with Malt Tonic.
Malt Tonic is enriched with vitamins and minerals for that rush of vitality you need to reach greatness.
It's Malt Tonic time.
Okay, welcome back. We've been talking on learning recovery to education transformation, and here with me in the studio has been Princess Oluwakemi Adeniyi, aka Kimo. Thank you so much, and we're going to look at, in your own opinion, the potential benefits of education transformation in Nigeria. The potential benefit of this education transformation we're talking of in Nigeria. The potential benefits.
Okay, the idea is central, it's universal, it's general. And that idea is the fact that we want to build a better future. We want to have great leaders in future, right? That's the reason why we're investing in our children. That's why we're investing in education. Okay, now if you intend to have a bright future, then you should make efforts to ensure that the future is bright. If you, I mean, I do not know so much about electronics, but there is a voltage of bulb that you will have that will generate a certain amount of energy. And so if you want to project your voice, if your voice is not going to be loud enough, you include the use of a microphone. And so to achieve a better future, you have to start work today. Put your yesterday behind you, work today, so you can have a better future. So for educational transformation, the knowledge we need to have is beyond the classroom. And that's why coaching these children, teenage coaches like us, would come into the fore. We do not have schools. But I mean, for instance, this is summer holiday. This is a period where parents are still going to work, but their children are home. And so I mean, for every of my schedule, I have children that I visit, probably at a stipulated place by their parents. It could be their office, it could be home, and all of that. And I still have sessions with these children. Some parents have been making use of this opportunity, and I'm sure I can give you positive review that we have. And so for this transformation, because these children are learning beyond what their teachers are teaching them, some of us have also up our game so much that we are also at par with them. In fact, we're some steps ahead of them. And so the children would always look forward to those sessions, because it is not the chair and table session. It is a session where some parents have had issues with their teenagers, and I have to be left alone with the child, be with the child, have conversations. And because these children know that these are confidential issues, they'll confide in me, and I in turn will carry the parents along, but on the condition that they won't let the cat out of the bag. But I'll let them know. I'll keep them abreast of what's going on, you know, because some of them are too busy to actually listen to them. You know, and the strategies are also what we have learned, and these are the transformation we're putting into the educational sector. And so in our days, the moment you're out of school, the review the teachers have given you are just what the parents go with, you know, and that's why they were compelling some of us back in the day to become a doctor. I don't even like syringes. I can't even take injections. I have huge phobia for injections. As tall as I am, I must cry at the sight of injections. I must. I can't breathe well if I see injections, if I see needles. And so how on earth was my late father expecting me to become a doctor? How? Just how? I can't even stand the fact that someone is crying around me. You know, so it's the same way some parents think that because my child attends an A-list school in Lagos, the child should come tops in class. No, maybe your child wants to dance. Maybe the best the child wants to do is to be a moderator, like Doc is, like you are right now. You know, some of them want to run television shows, and that's why you see podcasts all over the place. And so we need to evolve. These children are growing. We should grow. And so because for you to be a leader, you must really be equipped for that assignment.
Thank you so much. We've been talking on from learning recovery to education transformation with Kimo. Princess Oluwakemi Adeniyi, and she has exhausted the whole of this topic. I wish we have more time, but I know we're going to still have more time with you, because I'm so concerned about relationships.
Healthy
relationships in homes,
yeah.
because it's what it's the basis.
Oh, it's the bedrock
It's the
of
bedrock of
any
the
society.
society and the children.
Yeah.
So if the home front is not healthy,
It's unstable.
it's unstable, the child will definitely not be
yes.
stable enough. Even in the
yes.
classrooms you're talking of,
yes.
even the outside, outside the curriculum and all that, what they call this extracurricular activities,
exactly.
which is also part of learning.
Oh, it is.
That many people don't even have.
yes,
And what I used to ask myself, when I see some schools, I will say, I don't know how these children learn. I see school in a building like this. I mean, a story building. There's no space for any play.
Residential homes are next
yes, no
door.
playground, nothing, and all that. And you are perceiving the aroma of jollof rice.
Someone is smoking in that house.
Exactly.
And the kids are in the classroom
next door. And there's no place to express themselves and bring out other talents they have, except the 1 + 1 is equal to 2 and all that. And it gives me so much concern how those children learn and all that. But thank you so much for the time we've been with you. It's been, like I said, breathtaking session. I wish it never ended. Thank you so much, Princess Oluwakemi Adeniyi. And we're still going to have more sessions with you in terms of relationships, healthy relationships with parents, teachers, and other stakeholders in education. Thank you for coming. Thank you, viewers, for watching. We've been talking on from learning recovery to education transformation with Princess Oluwakemi Adeniyi. She's a coach. She's a mentor. She does a lot of things with youth. Thank you so much for watching. Please always keep in tune with Educare TV. I have been Dr. Mrs. Van for Educare TV. Thank you for watching. God bless.